we are in America Digital Congress with Michael Kaplan. Michael is the Director of Entertainment and Telecommunication inside NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a company who was involved in hardware and doing all these applications for games, and they did an incredible transformation, taking advantage of all these digital new technologies like gaming, like hardware, like big data, like VR, artificial intelligence. So Michael, thank you for coming to Chile and explain us how your company is doing this transformation and at the same time helping other big players do the same in their laboratories.
Perfect. So we've been around for almost 25 years, so we're not a new company, and we did create the graphics processing unit, or the GPU.
Yes.
It's a very parallel processor with many cores, what we call them, to do compute type tasks. It started as a gaming company, like you said, and as you take a look at how good and real games have been, that just shows you the processing power that a GPU has. About 10 years ago, we created a software development environment called CUDA. So CUDA now lets hundreds of software companies write to take advantage of the GPU, so they can start to accelerate their codes for the GPU. Artificial intelligence, which has been around for a while, but is now, it's like the buzzword today. Our platform, think about it as a GPU computing platform. That hardware with software partners and our software environment really is a platform for development for so many folks, whether it's natural language processing to understand what you speak into Siri, a phone.
Yes.
It could be autonomous driving vehicles, self-driving cars from Toyota, Volvo, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Tesla.
All
use
companies.
NVIDIA.
Amazing.
And they all use NVIDIA technology. That's a good example of artificial intelligence. Think about from a healthcare standpoint, being able to take a cancer cell and being able to sort of compare that against thousands of images in real time to see if it might be a similar strain, and then predict what the best methodology for treatment could be. So artificial intelligence with GPU acceleration, it's powering transportation, farming, manufacturing, healthcare, telecommunications, media and entertainment. It really allows us to touch many markets and help them out with compute.
So gaming is not for millennials anymore. Gaming is a very serious business.
Well, gaming is a serious business.
Yes.
You want to kind of predict the best outcomes of a game, so you want to do AI or artificial intelligence on gaming as well. We still are so passionate about gaming, right? And it's such an important part of our world. We've actually recently introduced a technology called GeForce Now. GeForce is the name of our gaming cards. We now stream that technology over the internet. So if you have a good fast internet connection, you don't necessarily need a big bad gaming computer yourself. You can take advantage of our processing power in the cloud to play whatever games you like. So we're still passionate about that, and we're definitely weaving that into artificial intelligence.
Now, you went from media entertainment to telecoms.
Yes.
Which kind of case studies you have in telecom taking advantage of this technology?
So I'll start with one. So Verizon. Verizon had a problem, well, not a problem. When they have to manage subscribers, they do like an over-the-air or OTA pulse. They check you and they poll their whole user base. The current system that they were using, when they did that, it would take about 2 hours to get results back. And they really couldn't do it for the size of a country. They do it for like a town because their system couldn't handle that massive amount of data. When they implemented a solution with one of our software partners called MapD, they were able to get that process down to under 1 second. Under 1 second, and they didn't have to downsample. They could do the whole picture of the entire country and every one of their subscribers to manage it that way. So again, MapD, as a third-party software company, taking advantage of the GPU and the parallel processing that we can do, sped that situation up in a dramatic stance.
Well, the gaming industry and the military industry is helping all the rest of the industries, and usually it takes kind of 5 to 10 or 15 years to release that information that is private or from the government to the rest of the industries.
That's right.
Now the time is much shorter. It's much shorter because companies are having laboratories like yours and taking advantage of it and implementing much faster.
That's right. I think, like DoD, and we're very strong into defense and government agencies. We work with them quite a bit. Can't really talk about what they're doing, but you're right. The time to market and the way solutions are coming out, it has sped up so much. It's crazy. It's hard to manage how much new information comes at us every day. You'll pick up a magazine or you'll read something online, you're like, gosh, I never heard about that company before. In the artificial intelligence space, there's been about $5 billion invested into that market, and there's over 1,000 startups. 1,000.
1,000.
A lot of them work with NVIDIA, but it's hard to track. What are they? Are they doing cybersecurity? Are they doing genomics for gene and medical type use cases? There's so many different companies that are out there serving so many markets. It's a challenge to manage, who's the right one.
Share with us also how the entertainment now is helping education, and not education for the schools or universities, but for companies as well, and how they can train their people and keep their people motivated in difficult things, not like aviation, but just more regular things using VR or other technologies like that.
Well, I think VR needs to, it's going to potentially be, there could be an advertising play to virtual reality. I think augmented reality will be the bigger market in time. Obviously the amount of tethered headsets that are out there today, it's growing all the time. But if you read reports, I think AR will be the bigger market, so that you're wearing glasses, and we work with a company called Ather Labs that uses some of our GPUs in the glasses. I think that might be the better market, just because I'm not closed off, I'm looking at you. But you also need artificial intelligence to do object detection, and you might want to do avatar information, and characters need to behave like they would in the real world. So that's another very big space for us. So from an industry standpoint, obviously you got to look at AI. If you want to try to succeed and be competitive, I think VR and AR is something to take a look at. Over-the-top streaming, right? A lot of cable companies and service providers are trying to figure out, do they build something themselves? Do they use a cloud service provider to do it? But within that space, we're getting involved a lot in streaming technology, but then we're taking it to a video analytics standpoint, because you, as a provider of content, you want to know, why did I leave the stream, or why did I change the channel at the 5-minute mark? It could have been because of language or violence, but now you start to build a profile of me, your end user. So you can start to do recommendations for me. You can start to do proactive marketing to me, because you know that I like this product, or I like this type of movie. Netflix, if you're a Netflix user, Netflix makes a recommendation of what movie you might like based on your previous habits. They use GPUs and NVIDIA technology to do that. So that's an example of what the market can do using technology from us.
More about augmented reality, AR. What kind of limitations now this technology has? I mean, we can hear, we can see, we can touch, we can, but and we can have some feelings and emotions like the reality in itself. Now, what kind of limitation we have at the moment, and what kind of work you are doing in order to overcome them?
Right. So AR, it's a virtual object in the real world versus VR, when you're immersed in a totally fake or virtual world. I think AR, it's sort of a development time frame, right? It could be used for surgery, right? If you're a surgeon, or if you're in a manufacturing environment trying to fix an oil rig or trying to fix an automobile, and you can pull up the schematic of the engine to figure out what the best methodology is to repair that. And through AR, that's something that can happen. But it's, you have to worry about the frame rates, and the speed has to be there. I think as soon as 5G and that type of technology that's starting to roll out with telecommunications companies, I think the pipe will be there, and then we just need to figure out, how do we build content to provide a solution in that space. But it's coming.
I remember I read or I watched a news about the golf team from Denmark. They didn't have any golf clubs, but they were training every single day with augmented reality, and they became very good in the world. So what kind of other interesting applications you've seen in people or in sports or business taking this technology in order to improve and accelerate education?
So I've seen like a batting practice for baseball, trying to see how a pitch comes in, and you're in the batter's box in a virtual environment with AR. like I said before, a lot of manufacturing use cases, right? Fixing a product, oil and gas, trying to repair an oil rig where when you're underwater, you better know what the whole scenario is going to play out before you do things like that. So, I think media entertainment will be there, and it'll be a way to, converse with people and friends and maybe watch content and share content. But today I see it more in medical, automotive, oil and gas, and potential sports applications like you had said with golf and baseball. I see those markets starting to pick up.
If a company here in Chile want to get involved with NVIDIA and learn more how to implement, perhaps the projects are custom projects just for them and takes a while in order to implement. So give us a scope of how you work.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously from a Chile standpoint and being outside, we're a worldwide company, so we've got locations everywhere. But we don't have one here, and we don't have offices here. The best methodology would be to view our website. And then if you're interested in developing and partnering with us, the website is developer.nvidia.com, where you can sign up and start to pull down free software resources to help your development environment, whether that's for VR, AR, artificial intelligence, and deep learning. There's ways to get software assistance from us on day one. If you're a startup and you're a company that's up and coming, we have a program called the Inception Program. So you can actually find out more about the Inception Program on NVIDIA.com, register and sign up, and then we'll start to help with hardware, software, technical support, because we want to try to build the ecosystem as large as possible for companies that are focused in artificial intelligence and virtual reality.
Very interesting indeed. So entrepreneurs who want to lead some niche that is going to be big in the future can take advantage of your platform and help both sides developing.
Absolutely.
Very interesting.
Absolutely.
Michael Kaplan, director in media entertainment and telecom for NVIDIA, the hardware company that became AI and cloud and taking advantage of these disruptive technologies.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much.